FSF PopCast live show. Welcome to the live show. This is the FSF PopCast. So welcome everybody, kids and cadets. This is the show that is made by nerds for nerds, and we just happen to have a couple of geeks waiting in the back room. So we're going to get them on here pretty shortly. So we're pretty excited to be back on live with you guys. It's been a few weeks. We've had some life happen, some summer vacations, and all that kind of stuff. So we're trying to get back into the live show swing of things. And tonight we've got a pretty fun show for you. Our plan tonight is to talk about this topic right here. Superhero fatigue. Is it real? We're going to talk about that because, of course, this summer we've got the two of the biggest movies rather out there are Superman, the new DC, under the direction of James Gunn. And then, of course, from Marvel, we have Fantastic Four: First Steps. So we're going to talk about both of those movies and how they're doing at the box office and a whole bunch of fun stuff along those lines. But before we get into any of that, we want to remind you that this show is made possible by support of our show partners and, of course, viewers, and most importantly, viewers like you. So thank you for watching. And if you haven't already, go check out our show sponsors down in the links below. Get yourself a cool lightsaber from Level Up Sabers. That's why this is the Level Up Sabers studio, because Master Allen is amazing and we support him wholeheartedly. And then, of course, Bones Coffee and Idea Farm for some really cool nerd merch. There's discount codes for both Bones Farm and Idea Farm. Bones Coffee, not Bones Farm. Bone Coffee and Idea Farm down in the show notes. It could be Bones Farm. Who knows?
Over there.
Yeah. But then again, we've also got some cool things coming up for you. Now, if you notice down in the show notes down below, there is a link for win free loot. Well, here's some of that loot that you guys will have an opportunity to win. This movie right here, we're going to have some codes to give away for this. Certified Fresh and what critics are calling the best movie of the year, period. 28 years later, with Ralph Fiennes, Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Jodie Comer, and directed by Academy Award winner Danny Boyle, is now available to watch on digital. So if you guys have not already, click the follow and the free loot button down below. Do that now, because not only do you have an opportunity to win codes for 28 years later, but you'll also have an opportunity to win continual loot every single month. You'll be in every running for every drawing that we have out there. There are guys who have won multiple movies, multiple cool giveaways and things like that. So if you haven't enter now. This is your chance.
Potentially for the next 28 years.
For the next 28 years. Absolutely. Let's see. Brandon says, hey guys.
Hello, Brandon.
Coffee. Yes, we're doing okay, Brandon. Thank you for asking, sir. Hey, make sure you stick around, because this Wednesday's interview, Brandon, you're gonna love, by the way. Just knowing your love for all things Disney. Hint, hint. So let's get those. John says, where are those three geeks guys? I'm here to see them. Yeah, funny, John.
Rude.
All right, rude.
I mean, he saw me all day. I guess it's fair.
Yeah, I can't blame him for that one. All right, let's bring in those geeks. First, we'll have Jason Taylor and Mike McG. What's going on, fellas?
What's up, everybody?
Hello.
Thank you for having us on your program.
Absolutely. Jay, remind everybody where they can find Three Geeks and why you're so stinking cool.
We are everywhere at Three Geeks Podcasts, all the social medias, YouTube, Twitch. We just got monetized on Twitch today, which is amazing because we never promote that we're on
Rude.
Twitch.
Us too.
Really? They must have been feeling like charitable today, and we're just like, we're gonna let these guys be monetized because, so we do a lot more stuff on Twitch. We'll be pushing Twitch like nothing else.
Exactly. So, all right, and Mike, remind everybody, tell everybody where I know you do a lot of work with Three Geeks, but you also have your own channel. Tell everybody about that and what's going on there.
youtube.com/MikeMcGTV, all one word. I like to do some occasional short films, some reflective filmmaking type stuff where I pontificate about life and go out into the wilderness, but also I put together short stories. I've been really getting into some stop motion animation with some action figures I had laying around, and I'm like, this is actually kind of fun, but man, it's hard work to get every little movement takes an hour. So I'm just like, yep, pay your animators, everybody. So you can catch me over there on YouTube. and so forth. And yeah, I do stuff with 3 Geeks. You'll see me on the occasional Saturday stream. And yeah, like this past Saturday.
Absolutely.
Potentially more often than you see Max.
Now, more often than you see me lately, but yeah.
Yeah, this boy's been on the road for like the whole month, and so
Mr. Big and famous.
I'm very cool. I look at me running panels. And I would say do this with his hair, but there's not enough of it there to do that with. So, but yeah,
it's kind of fun though. It's been interesting because it's just been me, Justin, and Max for like 3 weeks in a row. So it's like Dad's away and he left the keys to the car.
Right? Isn't it fun?
It's so
Max
much fun.
A little feral when he's left on his own. So
I feel like that. I feel like that the couple of times I've done things without Tim that I'm like, nobody can stop me.
But no, I get it too. Sometimes we need someone to wrangle. So thank you for wrangling, Jay.
John says also Max reading his wife's text about the Snow White remake was hilarious. It's must-see material. And
it's funny because Justin is actually the wrangler. He just doesn't do it on the air, but like after the show, he'll private message Max and I and be like, "Did you guys really have to talk about this on the show? Like, we're never going to get monetized if you guys are talking about whales and how they reproduce for 45 minutes."
Go whales!
I can actually see that. That's yeah. I can see Justin doing that. He's got a very dad quality to him. So,
I do have the occasional action figure laying around somewhere here. So yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about as I look up at 9 Funko Pops above me.
Tim should have gotten 3 more, but I didn't get confirmation that he actually got 3 more.
Oh, hey, I got 3 more. They're right up there. Boba Fett, Harley Quinn, and Bo-Katan are right up there. So,
I mean, UPS told me you got them, or USPS, I guess. Although I'm still waiting for my stuff, whatever.
Yeah, you're going to be waiting until tomorrow. So hope you enjoy that. So
I'm supposed to be waiting until last week, but no.
You're right. And then one of us went on vacation and completely forgot to send it out because they're forgetful.
Ernie, he doesn't love me. You don't forget that.
You want me to sign in the StreamYard and kick Tim out? Kathleen, I can do that.
He has potential power to do that.
Okay, come on. The only reason I'm super excited, so I will just tell them what Tim has for me that he's supposed to be sending to me. It is a Bluetooth shower speaker. He's probably going to go get it because he hasn't mailed it yet. It's a Bluetooth shower speaker, but it's shaped like a rubber duck.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love rubber ducks. Like, I have 110 of them in my bathroom currently. My plan is to just put the Bluetooth speaker in with the other ones.
And she mocks me for Funkos, but she has 100 ducks. Anyway,
they're not in boxes; they get played with.
101.
Nice.
But my plan is to just put it with all of the other ones and turn it on, and then wait until somebody comes over. Ooh. Wait until somebody comes over, and then just randomly have it start playing fart noises while they're in the bathroom. Because my cat has... It's not 235! 110! Because now that a certain kitty cat is not jumping on top of the bathroom cabinet as much anymore, he can't jump down to scare people.
Oh, God. The last time I was over there, it's a good thing I was already peeing because he jumped off the top of that cabinet. And it's dark up there, so you don't see a black cat. And he jumped off of there. And if I hadn't already been peeing, I would have seriously pissed my pants right then and there. But... as it was, at that point, I was just trying to control stream and not go.
Be like an actual cat and just spray. It's like my territory now.
Exactly. This is my bathroom. Oh.
Ernie's like, I would never do something like that and scare somebody. And
he would.
He's a big cat too, so it's not like it's a small thunk when he jumps.
No, that's a hearty thunk on the counter. It gets your attention. Anyway, now that we've talked about rubber ducks and me possibly peeing my pants, all the cool kids do it. I'm like Miles Davis. Yeah, I definitely. Well, yeah, I had brown shorts. I think that counts.
Have you watched the new Happy Gilmore?
Unfortunately.
Oh, unfortunately, it was.
I thought it was fine.
I thought it was fun.
I would like to get one of my laughs back. You know, the ones that I didn't use. I'd like to get one of those back.
The Eminem sequence was hilarious. Are you kidding me?
There were a couple of points where I actually did laugh, but
there was too many. It was too many callbacks and not enough substance to the movie.
Oh, the whole movie was. 90.
Okay,
about 60.
I say that with full realization and expectation that it was an Adam Sandler movie. I get that, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, it's fair. I'm not gonna. It's not like it's high. It's like high.
It's like so I love Happy Gilmore. I love Grown Ups. I don't like Grown Ups 2. I don't really care for Happy Gilmore 2. It's not a bad movie. Like if I was over at somebody's house and I sat down and they wanted to watch Happy Gilmore, I would be like, yeah, we can watch that. I'm not going to poo-poo it or shoot it down, but I'm also not going to go out of my way to get a Netflix subscription to make it happen.
The first half was pretty good. It falls apart halfway through when they get to the extreme golf. I did like Haley Joel Osment as a villain. I thought he was funny, and then the Eminem sequence made me laugh.
Yeah. Like Shooters.
I did like Haley Joel as a villain. I will say that.
The Shooter thing. I like that they didn't make Shooter the obvious villain. Like I like.
Right. I liked that Shooter got a little bit of a redemption arc.
Yeah, that wasn't so bad. But yes, no, 65% of that movie is callbacks.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Easy. All right. Well, hey, why don't you say we jump into tonight's topic? Because although we could talk about Happy Gilmore for quite a while.
We could just do an entire show about Adam Sandler movies.
We could. And actually, that's probably not a bad topic.
Let's do it.
Later. Mike's like, I'm out. See you guys later.
I like Mike's two Adam Sandler movies, Punch Drunk Love and Little Nicky. And Little Nicky I like just because my dad likes it. So
Mike's like, would you look at the time? I got a thing to ignore. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later.
I grew up with Adam Sandler movies, though, because like that was one of my bonding things with my brother. And so I think that's more of the reason that I like them is I would watch them with Charlie, and they're fun. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay, I tell a lie. Anger Management I like, mainly for Jack Nicholson.
You like
Anger Management too, has some.
What's that?
You liked Uncut Gems too, didn't you?
Yeah, not so much for him. Like he does a good job in it. I just like those filmmakers. So,
Anger Management has some highly quotable lines in it and is very entertaining. But yeah, so okay, so but for tonight, for tonight we're supposed to be talking about superhero fatigue and is it real? And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because it's something that we've been hearing about in the media for probably the last year and a half, 2 years, pretty solidly. Every time a new project comes out, superhero fatigue. Everybody's tired of superheroes. And then the other day, I was scrolling through Google, and I wanted to see what the box office returns were for Fantastic Four and Superman, because Superman is a pretty monumental movie for DC. If that doesn't land, their whole thing is screwed. They don't have nothing to jump from. And so I was looking that up. I want to show you guys a few images, and then we'll discuss everything. But I thought these were kind of interesting. Now, this is going to be kind of hard to read, but just as a show, this is for Marvel's Fantastic Four, and the first one talks about how they're surging towards 370 million. The very next one, they dipped 40 million, and it's flopping. It's doing horrible. It's not setting up Doomsday, and all of that. So I was like, oh, okay. So I went to search for Superman box office, and the top of the stories are Marvel's Fantastic Four is bringing, facing massive, box office decline, and they're losing money, and they're doing this. It's a box office mistake, and it continues on. This is all for while searching for Superman, by the way. And I was like, okay. And then I finally find Superman, and they're like, yeah, Superman, it's doing great. It's doing, it's the biggest DC movie in, quite a long time. And talking about how it's, I think it's went ahead of Lord of the Rings, one of the Lord of the Rings movies for, some things. But I love this one, the one all the way to the left. Superman box office flies past like 350 million, well short of the Batman or Man of Steel. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's nice.
Oh, that's cosmic. Okay.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm not putting a lot of stock in some of the Collider has its moments too. So I'm not I'm not sitting here going, these are all well established and reputable articles here. But yeah.
The Batman news, of course. They're going to focus on it being in fourth place. It's fourth weekend.
Yeah. So it's all kind of humorous to me and kind of interesting because there's been so much juxtaposition about what's happening. Juxtaposition, by the way, that's my $10 word. I hope you guys are all happy with that.
Look at you go.
Look at me use words I found on the internet randomly. But there's been so much conversation about superhero fatigue, and people are trying to point that the downfall or the second week numbers or third week numbers or whatever it is for Fantastic Four is because of fatigue. In your guys' estimation, is superhero fatigue real? And is it something that needs to be addressed?
I will go first because I'm going to use Mike as an example. Superhero fatigue, it doesn't exist. People want to see the stories, and Mike is a good example of it. While he's not been as immersed into the MCU as I have been, X-Men 97, he was really into that. Fantastic. He's still into the stories as long as they give him something he wants to watch. So, and that's most of the audience. As long as it's good, the audience is going to flock to it. So no, there's no superhero fatigue. There was Marvel oversaturated the market. They admit it. While I liked most of the Marvel stuff that came out, I agree. Most of it was fine at best. And to me, that's fine. But, a lot of audiences are not going to go out unless Daredevil did well. Agatha did well because, again, it had a lot of good word of mouth. I think I've seen Fantastic Four. I've seen Superman. I've seen Thunderbolts. I personally like Thunderbolts more than the Fantastic Four, but all three of them are really, really, really good. And at least in my opinion, Thunderbolts, I just like the end of Thunderbolts. I like the whole depression angle, but no, I think as long as there's a good enough story and good enough word of mouth, people are going to flock to it. The fatigue is just something that they're saying because whenever one doesn't do well, but they don't actually look at why that didn't do well. It didn't have the right story elements. It felt rushed. The actors kind of phoned it in. It's those elements that are keeping people away from some of this stuff, not superhero fatigue. Because if there was superhero fatigue, then nobody would be going to see Superman. Nobody would be going to see Fantastic Four. Nobody would have watched X-Men 97. Right. Agatha all along. My Friend Superman. I can't remember what that show's called, but it's really, really good.
My Adventures with Superman.
Yeah, the anime.
Yeah,
that was pretty good. Hello, Brian. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome.
It's the same as Star Wars. People say there's Star Wars fatigue, but again, there's not because Andor came out and proved that there's no Star Wars fatigue. People are there to watch it if it's good.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, and before we get to Mike's answer, I think one of the interesting things for me in the last couple of weeks is Kevin Feige coming out and saying, "Look, we oversaturated. We had because up until the point of I think it was Endgame, there was only 51 hours of total on screen." And then in phase 4, they put out another 51 hours between TV and the cinema and everything else. So that they went out and they were saturating it with shows like Secret Invasion.
Oh my God, that one I made it through it, but that was a chore to watch. I
was so mad at the end of Secret Invasion. I was yelling at the TV. I'm like, seriously, that's how we're ending this? Anyway.
Now, see, Iger left Disney. They put the guy in charge of the theme parks in charge of Disney, and he's like, mass produce. And then they got rid of him. Iger came back and said, slow down.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, and Feige's on board with it. And I do like that. I'm sorry, Mike, your thoughts?
To kind of pair it a little bit what Jason was saying there. Yeah, the thing is I was very much pre-2019 very much in the I gotta go to every big Marvel movie that's coming out because I did feel that momentum and enthusiasm of this is all building towards something, and it did. Honestly, I felt, and here's the thing, I feel superhero fatigue is a concept that I feel we should apply more on an individual basis. Overall, obviously the money is showing that people still want to go see these things, and I still want to go see these things, but on an individual level, I'll definitely say some fatigue settled in. I had fatigue going into Infinity War. I was kind of checked out by Ragnarok, and I was like, I really don't have much investment in seeing all these characters together, even though that's where this has all been building, just because I was like, okay, momentum's going to build, and then where do you go from there? And then, because I knew this was just going to keep going, and then into the pandemic, and I will say the one thing that I feel does kind of lead to the sense that there could be fatigue is the oversaturation, but also the fact too that there's not a desire to have to go see these things immediately. And I think that's also very much reflected in the box office here, where yeah, they're doing great numbers, but everyone's saying like, well, they're falling short of previous years. Yeah, that was back when these movies weren't immediately going to be on a streaming platform like a month later, where people could watch them. And when it
wasn't $60 for two people to go see a movie.
Absolutely, yeah, where the prices were much more affordable in this economy, and where if you already have the streaming platform at a monthly rate, you're going to see this thing on there in like a month anyways.
Yeah.
But then you start selling, like, I'm going to call it a boutique experience with something like Superman, where you're kind of like, yeah, the previous movies didn't really do much for me, but this is being hyped up as being a different direction. They're going to play with the scale of it. They're going to give you something. They're promising you something that you haven't seen before in Superman. And that built up interest for me. I'm like, okay, I'm interested to see this. And I went in and I'm like, yeah, I'm excited. I'll say that. I'm excited to see what they do, just because it feels like they're actually handing it over to someone with a vision instead of committee. That's the other thing, too. A lot of the superhero stuff that we've had the past couple of years, with some exceptions, feels like it's done by committee. Like, we got to have these characters out there because they're going to play a role in, like, Phase 6 or whatever. And I'm just like,
right.
Who cares?
And I think...
Go ahead, Kathleen.
I think with Marvel specifically, there was almost, like they said, yes, they oversaturated the market, but so much of it was here's this character's intro movie, here's this character's intro movie, here's this character's intro movie. Cool. We've known these characters forever. We don't necessarily need every character's intro movie. Yep. And then you're going to give us 3 movies with all of those characters, and then, oh, hey, we're going to start on with new characters. Like, then what was the point? Why did we spend all this time and all of this effort and money and energy for that? Like Mike was saying, it's going to all build up, and then it's going to, where do you go from there?
And also, I think your emotional investment kind of fizzles out at a certain point, because I would have been way more invested in that Black Widow movie if it'd come before Endgame and all that stuff. Like, I would have been like, oh, wow, that made the ending, that made what happens in Endgame with Widow a lot more emotionally resonant for me, because I really didn't have much attachment to Black Widow, unfortunately, because she just shows up in the team-up movies.
Right, and like if they had given us the characters that we don't necessarily know as well, if we had gotten more from them, then maybe we would have cared more. But then too, like looking at how much it costs to go to a movie, when we're already paying how much a month on streaming services, that we know you're going to put it on streaming services within 6 months anyway.
Right.
That why am I going to go to the movie and spend? I mean, like the cheap ticket Tuesdays around us are like $7,
and
that's the cheap ticket, is a $7 ticket. But then there's potentially still concessions and gas, and if you have a kid, you have to find somebody to watch your kid. Yeah. Why do all of that when it's going to be on my streaming service in 6 months? I can buy a big box of popcorn from Costco. I can get 36 packages of popcorn for $15, and then I have popcorn for way longer, and I can pause it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Disney really shot themselves in the foot, and Universal, because Universal stuff goes pretty much straight to Peacock, but Disney stuff goes to Disney Plus within, I think, 6 weeks of it hitting the theater or something like that. So yeah, no, I get it. Unless you're somebody like me who has to run out to the theater, you're not going to run out to the theater.
And like I've always been the person who wants to go to the theater, and I want to go see this in person. I want to have the big screen, the full experience. But then there's so many other things, and like you said, they shot themselves in the foot. It's going to be there before the end of the year. I don't have to wait for it to come out on physical media. It's not worth my time and energy, and the frustration of other people, because other people make movie experiences horrendous.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Just like if I got to shell out for a movie, like I usually, if I do shell out like a lot of money for a movie experience, it's like an Alamo Drafthouse or something where I know like I'm not going to have to deal with loud crowds. I'm not going to have to deal with people bringing their kids or the place being a dump. Like I know it's actually going to be something I can settle in.
Yeah, and I kind of gauge what time of day I'm going to go, because if I'm going to go to the theater, I don't want to go midday when, moms and dads are, no offense, I've been there. I'm a father of 3, but I also made sure that my kids weren't running up and down the aisles like little hellions and doing all these things.
Right, and there's a big difference between people who actually raise their children to not be flaming a-holes and people who don't care about teaching their children to sit down and shut up.
Well, I tried, but I know you've met my kids, but
I mean, your kids are still flaming a-holes, but that's just genetic.
It's just genetic. They tried, but I mean, if you look at it this way too, I mean, you've got ever since the pandemic, all the studios have increased. It used to be when things would come to video, it was a solid 4 to 6 months minimum to get it out on Blu-ray, DVD, anything else, get the physical media, even if it was something that was going to go to a streaming service or hey, Kathleen, your daughter would like to know what a-hole means. Honora, Mommy's going to explain that when she's done with the live show.
I will explain it as soon as Daddy explains what the 12-lettered M word means.
Oh boy, Mother Tucker.
As they go through it,
I'm tallying up the. Oh yeah, okay.
Yep.
1,000, 2, 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
But yeah, so I mean,
he was playing Mass Effect with her in the room.
I mean, a-hole's better than the other, I think.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but you have to. You look at it. Like I said, studios were at 4 to 6 months for any type of physical media and streaming services.
Yeah.
Now, I think, like Mike said earlier, now it's just a matter of a couple of weeks to a month. Mm-hmm. And we've got streaming out there. And it does take away some of the impetus to go see something at the theater, unless I think John said it up here too. And I think one of you guys may have mentioned it as well, that opening weekend is going to be for the hardcore fans.
Right.
Most people who don't go then are just waiting for it to come out on streaming, which I have to agree with. I mean, so like I intended to go see Thunderbolts in the theater. Every time I tried, something would happen, and dealing with chronic illness in my family, both my wife and my daughter. So it's not always easy to go out and go do something. And I'm the type of person, I don't like to go to the theater by myself. I just don't. If I go, I want it. That to me, watching a movie at home is one thing, but if I go to the theater, to me, that's a shared experience. That's some, I go with people that I want to go see a movie with that I think might enjoy that similar movie as me. And then that makes it fun. So yeah, I didn't get to go see Thunderbolts at the theater, but I did see Superman. Haven't seen Fantastic Four yet. I'm dying to go see Fantastic Four. I'm waiting for my peoples to be healthy enough to go because it's driving me nuts. I'm trying so hard to avoid spoilers, and I'm like the Matrix over here, just like, whoa.
It is. It is good, but it's funny you bring up the box office. You and I, Tim. I mean, I'm sure you got the same email I did about the Smurfs coming out to digital in like 2 weeks, and that movie just came out last week.
2 weeks ago, yeah, last week I think, or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah,
it's also Smurfs.
But still, I mean, that's a 2 week kids movie should be like easy box office.
The simple fact that studios are turning to digital streaming so quickly makes me worry about the future of cinema at in the experience of going to a theater, because I think that to some degree, and I got to bring this comment up earlier because Jessie from Crusher Convo couldn't be here tonight in part of the conversation because she's at Star Trek Las Vegas, and so she chimed in early. Hi, Jessie. Hope you're having lots of fun. Not jealous at all. Hope you're having a great time, though.
I'm really not jealous about being in Vegas. There's too many people.
I don't care about being in Vegas. I wanted to go to this.
Star Trek.
Sorry, after Chuck E. Cheese today, I just want to hide in a hole.
Okay, but you're looking at. Okay, I did not go to Chuck E. Cheese today. I did not have to experience people that much. So my social button is not that pegged. But here's what Jessie from Crusher Convo said. She goes, "Yes, it's real. I have it currently. My love for Superman 1 for this new one, but I don't care for anything else. I'll try and be back in an hour."
That sounds more like she's just not a fan of it, really. More so than fatigue.
I mean, it ebbs and flows, because that's the thing, is that obviously you were talking about my experiences earlier, Jay, which thank you for speaking for my story. But but No, I feel like you drop in and out when it happens, and that's why I wanted to say, like, I think the fatigue is real, but it's on an individual level. It's not like this mass thing. It's just the person's tastes ebb and flow. Like I said,
Right.
my taste gears more towards quieter, more minimalist type stuff now. It doesn't. I don't really have patience for like big blockbuster stuff so much anymore. So long as there's a good story that anchors me in it, and that was the case with Superman. It's a big blockbuster, but the story and the characters really anchored me into the experience of it, that I connected and had an emotional response to it. That wasn't the case with something like, again, it wasn't the case with Infinity War Endgame. And honestly, like, I feel part of my individual coming and going into superhero fatigue has to do with the audiences and their expectations and the fandoms that build up around this. Because I went into Infinity War, I was like, okay, let's see what this is about. Like, I felt I wasn't hyped up for it, but I was very much like, I'm curious to see how all these different characters gel together and what they do with this story, how big it's going to be. Within 5 minutes, I kid you not, I want out of that theater, not because of the movie itself, but because the audience was cheering every 30 seconds at every little Easter egg of a thing that was taking place. I'm like, I can't hear what people are saying in the movie. I need to come back during a matinee, because that was the thing. I was a first night or weekend guy for Marvel movies for a long time, and then I was like, I can't go to these anymore because the audiences are insufferable. And I'm glad people are hyped for it, but it is insufferable to me as an individual that I can't hear what's going on in the movie because people are so hyped up about the littlest thing because it's comic book.
I get that.
It happened with Fantastic Four. There's a thing in the first 5 minutes of Fantastic Four. No. It's a blink and you'll miss a thing. It's literally an empty chair with a name placard in front of it. Yeah,
Max cheered. I'm pretty sure he said he cheered for that.
Yeah, and the whole audience I was with for Fantastic Four lost their minds at that. I'm just like, you guys, it's an empty chair. Please.
See, and I think that is the big thing too, is it really superhero fatigue, or is it we're just so sick and tired of everything else that superheroes have hit the back corner?
I think it's life fatigue, personally. I think just everybody, people I talk to on the daily, because I'm in a sales job and I talk to people every day. People
He's a used car salesman.
I am. People are just wore out, man. They're tired of dealing with whether it's politics, religion, their job, their family, their something going on with their health, their car. People are tired of life in general right now. And I think that the fatigue issue has more to do with what's going on the outside than what's going on in the theater. Now, I will say this though. I know that I don't think that I experienced fatigue, so to speak, but I think that I have a much quicker trigger when it comes to some of these shows, because they have certain shows have set an expectation bar here. And then you got other shows that are just barely crossing the surface. I mean, like Marvel in the same year came out with Moon Knight and Secret Invasion. And yet one of those shows was amazing. One of those shows made me want to throw my remote at the TV. And, I loved Moon Knight. I thought that was amazing. And we need more of that show. And I'm hoping that we get to see more of that character. But the difference in writing between this show and this show, it was like they almost tried over here and they put all their good people on this show over here. They were hoping, I really think that was Secret Invasion, that they were just kind of like, well, Samuel L. Jackson will carry it through. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. Everybody will be fine. But that was not the case.
It was a snooze fest.
It was.
I think too, if you look at some of the movies that have come out, and there's no superhero fatigue if it's Deadpool. There's no give us the things that are going to make us forget how craptastic life is outside of the
absolutely. Give us a good story, give us good characters, and I don't think you're going to have fatigue. I think the biggest issue with fatigue is, like I said, things that are going on in the outside world, and that translates into when we see something that is not up to the bar of which they have set themselves.
Right.
it's kind of hard to go. Yeah, okay, we'll take that and roll over and take another one.
Let it actually enthrall us and let us escape. Like
John said, I got spoiled in 2020 by being able to watch the things in the privacy of my own home. Yeah. Why would I pay to put up with the public? Look, just because you watched all the episodes of Joe Exotic on Tiger King on repeat doesn't count.
We all did.
Everybody did. I did too.
Happened, that show would not have been a success.
I watched it once.
How weird is it to look back though and think about the fact that was real? Like there's this like
that was such a distraction.
Disconnect.
Oh yeah, it was such a distraction. All the crap was hitting the fan, and you're like, at least that's not my life.
At least like you watch.
Yep, I think that's what it was. People were like, things are tough, but they're not this messed up.
They're not methed up.
Yeah, methed up. Yeah, exactly.
You mentioned coming in and out of the movies, as your interest peaks. It's comic books. Comic book movies have become comic books. People will check in and out with their favorite characters. Like Spider-Man 4 come out, the Spider-Man fans will go see it. Then they'll follow up with Spider-Man in Avengers, and they don't feel the need to go see the rest of the movies because they just want to watch Spider-Man. It's just like comic books.
And to go along with that too, like different comic book titles, because if Tom Holland's Spider-Man isn't your thing, I know me and Max are both hyped up for Spider-Verse whenever that last one finally gets animated.
I'm stoked for that.
But yeah,
good God, please let that come out soon.
That's another part of it too, is again this idea you mentioned earlier, Tim, the idea of everything on the external really affecting and not the actual movie holding sway over your quote unquote fatigue. All the hype year round that we end up having to, and the thing is, we're more privy to this probably than the general public because we run geek news stuff, or we're in the geek news vein. This is what we have streams about. This is why we're here talking right now.
Absolutely.
I keep going back to this point. The fact that they announced that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back as Doom, I felt was just, first of all, I was kind of like, I want someone else to take a crack at that. I love Robert Downey Jr. I'm sure he'll do a fine enough job with it. I would love to see just a new face in that universe. But also the fact that they announced that before they'd even started filming, before the script was even done. I don't even think the script is done. They're just filming stuff right now still.
Yeah.
And that movie's not coming out for another 2 years.
Yeah.
And so preemptive.
They're keeping you elevated on this hype high for 2 more years. By the time you see it, it's not going to live up to everything that you built up in your mind. Probably for some people it probably will, but at that point I'm just like, just release this thing at this point.
I wish that they had made the Robert Downey Jr. thing a reveal. Like that would have been awesome. I get it. He's a
like in the theater reveal.
Yeah, in the theater reveal. Like
yeah.
It's a smaller movie, but I went and saw Naked Gun, and there's things in that movie that I'm really glad I didn't know about going into it because it would have ruined the joke. And I just wish, we could get something like that. Could you imagine sitting in the theater not knowing that Robert Downey Jr. was Doom, and then he shows up? The theater would annoy Mike because they'd erupt and like clap.
Oh yeah,
but I get that though. I get that response.
Okay with that,
right, but that one I would be okay with because that has a reason behind it. Like when in Endgame, when Cap picks up the hammer, everybody lost their mind, and for good reason.
That's an earned moment.
Exactly, that's a memorable earned moment, and that's something that you're going to talk to people about for years to come.
And even in Deadpool 3, when we knew how many cameos there were in Deadpool 3. We knew there were a bunch of them, but like when he thinks it's Captain America and it's Johnny Storm, that was fantastic, and like you got into the moment. Thank you. You got into it because you're on that same page as Deadpool of the it's Cap, and then it's not.
But even that too, where it's like you be on like the one site that used to be Twitter, and you'd see like photos of it looks like what's his name is Sabretooth is back. It looks like that dude who played Toad is back, and so forth. Right. And you'd be like, well, I know they're showing up now because these aren't AI generated because now those are the norm now too. Jason, you missed it. How we were duped by an AI teaser of the Odyssey.
Oh, Justin, I saw that. Justin. I watched some of the show.
They showed it, and all three of us, Max, Justin, and I look at each other like, this doesn't look real. And sure enough, and that's the thing too, is that's not helping as well because that's perpetuating hype that isn't necessarily earned because it's doing it based off of like false images and things like that. And yeah, I agree. Like, how cool would it have been to have a genuine audience reaction when Doom is unmasked and you see it's RDJ and everyone's like, what? Whereas now, if I go to the theater to watch that and people start losing their minds at that, I'll just be like, guys, shut up. You've known about this. They're selling the movie.
You've known this for 2 years.
Yes.
Shut up.
And if you don't know this, what rock were you living under before this? How did you miss it?
Yeah, I think that it's more the external that's causing anybody to have superhero fatigue rather than the stories themselves. I think there's some problems inherent in the storytelling of some of the superhero shows and things, but I think that's also part of learning the streaming process and what catches, what doesn't. And I'm hoping more shows follow the path of what Andor did for season 2 and make it, you get more episodes, get a set runtime, get people to actually write it like it's a television show
and it's its own thing.
Yeah. Because that's one of the biggest things with what they did with Andor is they focused on, they had a few cameo things here and there and a few Easter eggs that were important for stories moving forward, so that there was a natural tie-in between Andor and everything else in the Star Wars universe. Mm-hmm. But they did a really good job of writing Andor as Andor, not a prequel to Rogue One, not this, not that. It's something that could be watched in of itself without having to sit down and watch a whole lot of other Star Wars to get brought up to speed. And on top of that, we got like 12 episodes, and they were all I think all of them this season were all quality episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot to be gained there if they look at that and go, okay, let's not do it this way. Let's do it this way. Give people quality entertainment. And I think if you do that, you're going to have less of this fatigue. I do think it's real in the sense, like I said, of external things pushing down on it. I don't think it's so much the stories.
And I think if you take that and you break it down a little further, it isn't, like you said, it is the external fatigue. It is everything else. But we are so constantly bombarded by everything.
Yeah,
we are how many thousands of notifications, and the human attention span is shrinking by the day because we are used to now TikTok clips and short things, and we can't sit and pay attention to a movie.
Wait, I have an attention span?
I have an attention span. I watch so many movies. Like, I am all over it.
Wait, what?
What?
Shiny.
How many of us are totally guilty still of, even when watching something, picking up your phone and scrolling Facebook, or picking up your phone and scrolling TikTok? It happens because we are constantly bombarded by this information. And then if you look further, we're not supposed to enjoy the moment that we're in. Even if you look at the merchandising, if you look at the Walmart 4th of July weekend, Walmart had back to school stuff out. The next week they had Halloween stuff out.
Oh yeah, my Spirit Halloween's getting primed already down the way.
It's like why?
Spirit of Halloween is like, I saw an empty store. We're gonna go.
Right, the land's closed, and so of course Spirit of Halloween goes in, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Because Spirit of Halloween is also very important for Renfest season, and that I get. But 4th of July, we're putting out back to school stuff because we are so constantly being told that what we're doing isn't good enough. What we're doing now isn't enough. You have to keep going to do the next thing, and if you're not thinking about the thing you're doing after that, then you're already behind.
Yeah, it's definitely this very much like. The attention is in high demand for us to be like having our eyes glued to the screen for things. And also like you can't have your eyes glued to this one particular thing for too long because we need your attention elsewhere on this other thing in order to get our revenue, in order to get our sponsorships fulfilled and so forth. And so that absolutely applies to big Hollywood productions too, where it's like they gotta, when they were in that period of the guy before Iger coming, saying like, put it all out there, and you're getting it on multiple fronts in the Marvel, sense from the movies. Like when we had like 5 movies in 1 year, and then you had like 5 TV shows also simultaneously. And the fact that there's interconnectivity too, that can be overwhelming as well. Whereas you have something like, again, I'm gonna come back to this Superman. Yeah, you might have some pre-established notions of what Superman or DC, world building's gonna be, but it's going into this being like, we're gonna lay it out for you. We're not doing an origin story necessarily all over again to set up a new status quo. We're just going into it. There are heroes in this world. They've been around for a while, and Superman's one of them. Let's check in on him right now.
Right.
And honestly, the Fantastic Four does this too. The Fantastic Four thing, you kind of know, who they are already because of the previous movies. We're going to set you into this world, and that's fine. And honestly,
we're not watching them go to space and get mutated again.
Yeah, again, for like the 5th time or whatever.
Yeah, that's one of the things I did really appreciate about the Superman movie was that there wasn't the expectation of having to go in and watch an origin story over again and watch Krypton be destroyed and watch him land in Kansas in the 50s or whatever, and have that whole story have to be built up again. I thought they did a really good job of just like, hey, there's metahumans in this world. We're acknowledging all of that. We're starting off with that information and go. And they start right off with this is not a spoiler by any means, but they start right off with crypto, and that's pretty freaking awesome. And I did have, as one spot, again, not as a spoiler, but there's one spot in the movie where I said, if they kill this dog, I'm out.
That's actually the reason I didn't go see it in theaters, is because I don't care that James Gunn based it off of his own dog. If they hurt this dog, I quit.
No, it's absolutely fine. It's absolutely fine. Go watch it in the theater. I strongly recommend Superman.
Well, that was like I had
such a good movie.
When I found out that there was a cat in Quiet Place Day 1, and I'm like, I have to know if this animal survives or not before I'm going to go see this in theaters. Like, you can't do this to me.
And I think also too part of the problem with the superhero fatigue, if we're going to acknowledge that there is some level of fatigue, comes from bad stories being told by outside sources, kind of. And what I mean by that is, I'm looking at you, Sony, and your use of the Spider-Man adjacent characters.
Right.
Good Lord, just give it up and give it back to Marvel because you suck.
I agree.
But also, I mean, how much of this so-called fatigue is also so which one of our beloved childhood characters are you going to screw up this time?
I think the fatigue comes in with like the offshoots. I think the Marvel offshoots, like the Sony stuff, is some audiences confused because like this what what is happening? Spider-Man's not in this. But if it happened over there, it's not canon in this universe, and now I have to keep up with.
I hate the fact. Yeah, I hate that the Venom movies have a Spider-Man villain, but no Spider-Man.
Yeah,
and then they try to make him a good guy, and I have a problem with that as well. So
at the same time, though, those also have ebb and flow moments. Because say what you will about those Venom movies, I'm not necessarily a big.
John says,
I was like,
ouch.
I wasn't going to comment on it, but I was like, 50s, man. Okay.
Well, because in the comic books, that's.
There's always a sliding timeline, but with say for example the Venom movies, I'm not particularly a big fan of those movies, but they had their fans, and obviously the first one did well enough that they're like, well, we got to make more. We got that trilogy deal locked down for Tom Hardy, and so say what you will about quality, but people went to go see those movies. Now the others, the Cravens, the Madam Webs, the Morbius, and everything like that. Those are different because also Venom was an established fan favorite for a lot of people. Right. Like if you've gone into any like T-shirt store that sells comic book stuff, Venom has his own rack of T-shirts. And so
Venom's fun.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's hype already built in for that character to do well. Same with like what I love though, and here's the thing is that Sony, give all the live action adjacent stuff back to Marvel. You're not doing well with it, and Venom's done. That's fine. Spider-Verse, though, they seem very comfortable letting those creators do their thing.
That's a whole
wild and creative with it. Yeah. And I'm all for that because that's the thing. They took a character, Miles Morales, they took that character who was well known, but also wasn't, as established as Peter Parker, obviously, because he's only been around for a couple of years, but also when he first debuted in the comics, was met with a lot of resistance because, it's not Peter Parker, and also, oh my gosh, he's black. But like,
no,
heaven
black
forbid,
with a Spanish last name. What the hell? Yeah,
heaven forbid the guy who isn't a giant leotard, just a head-to-toe leotard, be someone of a different skin color than I.
Can't be not white with blonde hair and blue eyes. How dare they?
How dare they? But that movie did really well, and is an Academy Award winner.
Right.
That thing pulled down credibility really fast, and I'm like, awesome for that, because they took big creative chances. And that's the thing too. Fatigue, I feel, can be a real thing if you're just used to same old. If like the storytelling or the effects work or the expectations just become stagnant. Spider-Verse, I went into that not knowing what to expect, and I'm like, this blew my expectations out of the water.
That was same. When that was such a win when I sat down to watch Spider-Verse, because I was just like, this can't be that. It's an animated Spider. Oh, come on.
Oh, Tim, and you're underestimating animation.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. That's a preconceived notion with animation too, is everyone's like, it's animated, cool. It's gonna be for kids. It's gonna play like lowest common denominator, even though anime movies, have not really done that a lot.
I was more worried about the fact that it was a Sony project than it was an animation project. So
it's fascinating. Sony didn't learn the lesson that they should have learned, which with like Mike said with Spider-Verse, they let Lord Miller and that whole team do their thing and make the thing without any studio interference. You would think they'd sit back and be like, it worked well over here, but we're interfering over here. Maybe we should do more of this, because
we made a crap load of movies
all the way back to Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 4 that got canceled was all studio interference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No,
but
yeah.
I definitely, sorry.
You're fine. Go ahead.
I said I definitely think it's not just superhero fatigue. It is just fatigue. And the number of times that it's we made money off of this thing, so let's make 8 more of them.
Let's double and triple dip down into this thing and run it into the ground.
We don't need 31 versions of Land Before Time. Stop making them.
False.
We don't need. I mean, I'm excited about a new Shrek, but we don't need another Shrek.
Yeah, that one I'll agree with. Okay. All right. So, any final passing thoughts before we drift away from superhero fatigue and its reality or not?
It's not that it's superhero fatigue. It's that millennials are just old and cranky.
Get off my lawn.
I would still watch a Land Before Time remake. Absolutely.
I will never watch it ever again. No more.
It was called
Not
Dinosaur.
allowed in my house.
It was done in 2000, and it was called Dinosaur, and it was very mid.
I will watch the Jim Henson Dinosaurs TV show 1,000 more times. Thank you.
John, put her outside, build her a tent, and then you can watch it all you want.
There you go.
Honestly, since becoming a mom, I will not watch anything that I know that the mom dies immediately in.
So that
all
takes care of like 80.
It's a lot of Disney stuff.
That's a lot of Disney. That's about 80%.
I mean, like if the mom's already dead at the beginning of the story, like if it
that's
starts,
one thing.
like Beauty and the Beast, there is no mom. She's never like in the live action they mention her, but it's not like you have to watch her.
They didn't even care about the mom enough to show it on screen. They're like, keep her out of our movie.
Brandon says, "I'll still see Shrek 5 even though the animation sucks."
Don't get me started on Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo. Yeah, that's a rough one. I mean, I'm
the Lion King though.
Oh, that's the dad.
Yeah, because it's the dad. It doesn't matter.
That's the dad, John.
I survived my dad dying. Somebody else can do it too.
Oh Jesus!
I'm dreading. Right. I'm dreading the live action Bambi whenever that's coming.
That's just called hunting season in Michigan.
I know, because I'm just like, I see Bambi happen like 5 times a day when I drive down the highway.
At this point, I'm more interested in the.
During hunting season, when they're strapped to the trucks in the McDonald's.
Oh yeah. It's like, we got our deer. Let's get a burger. Here we go. I think I'm more interested in the Bambi horror film than I am a Bambi remake.
That just came out, and that's got a pretty positive rating too.
And I hate, and I'm not a big. I shouldn't say hate. I'm not a big horror movie fan. I don't really get it. Well, there's also a little bit of that, but yeah. So But yeah,
we like to call
that's the thing. Flip the script on stuff. You know what? Defy my expectation. This is all of a sudden a horror movie about Bambi. Sold.
Right.
I still haven't watched the Winnie the Pooh ones, but I've heard they were decent.
Second one's better than the first one. And speaking of Bambi, I mean, they're all coming together in a cinematic moment. Bambi, Winnie the Pooh, and the Peter Pan. I haven't seen the Peter Pan one yet either.
That'd be okay. That would be funny to me if they had like an Endgame version of live action Disney horror movies.
It's coming.
It's coming. Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
It's 100% real.
I mean, Peter Pan as a horror movie actually makes sense.
It does make sense.
I mean, yeah.
It kind of already is.
Death, stealing people's kids in the middle of the night. So,
you remove the fantastical fairy tale context of it, and it's just someone abducting kids.
It's kind of scary.
That is terrifying.
Absolutely.
Peter Pan is the bad guy in that, too, I believe. I haven't seen it yet.
That's kind of cool.
I do like
actually I actually might watch that. All right.
I'm actually kind of excited about Five Nights at Freddy's, the second one as well.
Oh, okay.
Kind of excited.
Jay, remind everybody where to find Three Geeks.
Three Geeks Podcast. We are live Saturdays at 7 p.m. On Sundays, every other week is Matt Talk. I do with one of my buddies, John. And then the other week, I do a TV podcast and / we're going to start talking about Hallmark stuff in there as well with one of my new best friends, Jamie. Her and I talk about a lot of stuff, and you guys can find us everywhere at Three Geeks Podcast.
The amount you talk about Hallmark stuff, I'm surprised you don't have Hallmark fatigue at this point, Jay.
I mean, honestly, how do you? Yeah, I don't.
I just did a Hallmark convention, and
I'm like,
it was amazing.
I don't know how
strong.
I was tired for him. I was fatigued for him. Brandon says there's also a Steamboat Willie horror version.
Yep.
Oh, that's not good. I've seen it.
Yeah. Honestly, I just didn't know there was one. So that, to me, that's kind of interesting.
Jay, when I found out about the Hallmark thing, and I'm like, oh gosh, my head hurts. Just
I love it. I love the Hallmark movies. I finally started doing it on like in an individual basis. I used to do it on Three Geeks all the time. Max kept saying, dude, do it separately, and it's done wonders to my social media accounts.
I can't do that much feel good rom-com Christmas. Bleh.
Yeah,
I love rom-coms.
Now, if you want to talk about National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation,
that's one thing.
That all day.
Overrated. Excuse me.
The urge to boot you is so strong right now.
You strike me as a Vegas Vacation fan, Jay.
European Vacation.
European, actually.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, you redeemed.
I got you, Jason.
All right, Mike, remind everybody about you and where to find you outside of Three Geeks.
YouTube.com/MikeMcGTV. Like I say, I put on like video logs or artsy-fartsy type of reflections on video. Lately, I've been in the stop-motion animation kick. I just released a stop-motion animation short over there called Turtle Soup and Rabbit Stew. If you might not know, I'm a TMNT fan. Oh, I should plug this as well. I have a TMNT podcast that I try to keep up with as best I can. It's been hard lately, but it's called Full Price for Late Pizza. You can find it over on all your platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, things like that.
How did I not know about that?
Because I don't hype it up as much because I'm terrible at hyping myself.
Yeah, me too.
It does feel weird to be like, I'm going to talk about how I hate promoting stuff.
No, not me. I'm like, hi, I'm Tim. Did you know I have a podcast? Hi, I'm Tim. Did you know I have a podcast? I feel
so dirty and like slimy telling people about it.
Rhyme it up, baby. I'm all for
it. I also
it.
feel like that trying to like write a resume and fill out job applications.
I look at it this way. Nobody else is going to hype you up. You might as well do it for yourself.
Do it yourself. I got to get in the mentality of doing that more. Like, you got to be your own best seller.
I'd have to.
I went through that myself, Kathleen. Autumn kept telling me, like, promote yourself while you're on stage. And I just couldn't find the right time to be like, guys, come follow me on social media. It just feels weird. I get
feel
it.
like a prostitute. I can't do it.
Oh, I'm all for feeling dirty. I don't know about that dirty, but I'm all for feeling dirty. But yeah, so I'll do it.
Get a room.
Anyways, hey, speaking of shameless self-promotion, our episode that's out right now is with an actor named Ian Polk. Ian is a really cool dude. You'll find him currently on The Better Sister over on Amazon Prime, which is #2 on Amazon. And he was also in The Punisher and in American Pickle. Real cool dude. And we have a really fun Marvel conversation because he was super stoked to be part of the Punisher and Marvel universe, and he's excited to even have a small bit in that. But Ian's a really cool dude, and I strongly suggest you check out his work. If you want to check it out on the podcast and the interview, you can hear him talk about why each of these projects was really important to him and how he got started in the business, because he was kind of a late bloomer, and it's kind of a cool story. And he wants to make sure that Mrs. Puck gets her acknowledgement, because without Mrs. Puck, we might not have any info. So, but then also coming up this Wednesday, now this is already available for you right now on Patreon, and that's only $3 a month. Meanwhile, subscribing here on our YouTube channel, completely free. Doesn't cost you anything. So if you haven't already, click that like and follow button down below. But coming up Wednesday, and Brandon, I said there was somebody you're going to want to see on Wednesday. This is the guy, Tad Stones. He is the creative director of Darkwing Duck and Chippendales Rescue Rangers. He is involved in Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. He is part of Hercules, Aladdin, Moana, whole lots of really cool stuff over in the Disney universe. He is now retired, and he goes to Comic-Cons so that he can. It's funny. He talks about how he feels silly using money from he's earned over the years, because that's family money. But if he goes to Comic-Cons, that's Darkwing money. He can do whatever he wants with it. But really cool guy. We talked about the origins of Darkwing Duck, how that came to be from the beginning of Double O Duck, which was some James Bond parody, and how that all gained speed. And it's really cool.
Best person ever.
It's just really, really cool. Fun conversation with Tad. And I even got him because I could not find a definitive answer on this online. So I asked him specifically if Chippendales Rescue Rangers were dressed like Indiana Jones and Magnum PI on purpose. And he goes into explaining all of that. And you'll get a definitive answer from Tad Stones about that, because, like I said, he's the creative mind behind those shows. So, yeah, very, very cool interview with Tad. So, and then there's
I just caught up on YouTube comments. Nothing big.
Let's see. Oh boy, there's a whole bunch of comments in there because I was talking. John is subscribing to full price for late pizza now.
Thank you.
I'll be doing that as soon as we hang up here.
I'll try and make a new episode this week for you guys.
Perfect. This is Kathleen says, this is one of those times I really hope my therapist doesn't actually look up the podcast. I feel like they'd send me to the loony wagon. Yeah. John's replied with, Kathleen, the podcast is the least of your worries when therapy is concerned.
Accurate.
And Brandon's going to be sure to check that out. So yeah, Brandon, that's going to be one you're going to like. I have a strong suspicion about that. So Mike, thank you for being on the show. Jason, thank you for being on the show. I'd say thank you to Kathleen, but I kind of expect her to be here. Kind of the fun of it.
I'm supposed to be.
You're supposed to be. I mean, but hey, it works. So
life stops trying to kill me. It's all good. We got this. Not dead yet. I got fed up.
I'm not dead yet. And on that note, may the force continue to be with you as you live long and prosper. Goodbye.
Bring it back.
Copyright 2025 FSF PopCast. Reference any specific product or entity mentioned on this podcast does not constitute an endorsement or recommendation by FSF PopCast. The views expressed by guests are their own, and their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. If you have any questions about this disclaimer, please contact us via email at info@fsfpopcast.com.